So as you can see, it actually really got a lot of that gloss off that was in the photo. And what I did is I used the deglosser on just a little cloth with gloves on and with eye protection on. Yes, my love. And I reapplied new deglosser, about 3 little tips of the cap every time I was going to do one of the legs. And then I did 2 reapplications on the top. This is what the deglosser looks like. Gloves and cloth. And I had my face mask out. Oh, don't touch that, sweetie. Come here. This is the problem with doing it with little kids. You have to wash their hands if they touch anything. Oh yeah.
No, Mom.
No.
No, Mama, no.
Okay. And then this helps the paint look better.
Yeah.
So we all go in the same grain as the surface of the table. So this is the 1, 2, 3 primer in just a simple white. And as you can see, it's already going on. And we'll see how it looks. So this is the table after 2 coats plus some touch-ups of the primer, which is this stuff right here. It's the 1, 2, 3 primer. And I think that looks pretty good. It's still drying a little bit. And when I painted my house doors last year, I realized the importance of lots and lots of layers, especially when you're doing white over a dark surface. So it'll be interesting to see. Once this dries, I'm going to decide if I do a 3rd coat of primer, which I think I won't be doing. I think I will just put on a coat of white paint and see how that goes and see if I need a 2nd coat of white paint, because I don't want too much to pile up and it's already starting to get pretty thick. I did make some mistakes that I'm having to sand down, which are these here. I put too much paint on here and it dripped without me noticing because I had to go nurse the little one. And I've been sanding this down a little bit. It's not sanding as much as I want to without sanding it all the way down. So we'll see how that turns out. But I think coming along well. Careful, don't touch that. So definitely a challenge to do it with a little taller. Come on, Bubba. And I did put out a face mask for ventilation, but it actually doesn't smell too bad. What I have is my front door and my back door open, so the air is coming through really well. And I'm leaving that open along with extra windows. And that seems to really be doing the trick to make it not smell bad, which was good. It was something I was worried about. Definitely pick clothes aside for what you're going to use when you're using the deglosser, because I know I like bumped into the table at a certain point and got it on myself, so I'm glad that I had a separate outfit that I can just take off and wash easily. Sweetie. So this is the first coat of the enamel paint. Let's see if I can show it to you guys. Oh. Ow! And then I just use an easy, simple brush from the home improvement store that's got a nice, fine texture to it. I think as it dries, I can definitely still see brush strokes, and I do still see that dark paint and stain that was on the table before I started. One of the tricks that I found with the legs is that you want to go in a circular motion, so wrap around, not up and down, so horizontal, and that's given me, with the paint, a cleaner coat than what I was getting with the vertical paint strokes with the primer. So I think that's actually been a better technique. These little areas can be a little tricky to get to, but they've been coming done pretty well. I'm not doing the underside because I'm worried about dripping. Now, the spillover that we got during nap time of the primer is still there, and I sanded it and it's not coming off very well, so I suspect that it's just gonna have to stay on there. I know, yeah, I don't see a lot of other issues with texturing. I do see areas where too much paint is laying down. So that's definitely an issue there. And around the edges of the table seems like a real issue. So I'm gonna look and see if I need to sand more or if I can just stick with what it is.